Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 38 of the African Do podcast. Today, we venture into the world back in the creative economy space, and we have, I think it's right to call him legendary photographer, Paul Otieno, aka Paushinski. Paul, welcome to the African Do podcast.
Thank you so much. That legendary.
No, own it, man.
I'm going to own it.
You
But,
take it, man. I've given it to you now. You can run with it, even though the legendary may be coming. Take it for now.
Yeah,
Good.
Grab it.
Welcome to the African Do podcast. So, Paul, let's start maybe back. You're a photographer. You make your living out of photography. You dabble in a few other things, social justice and all that, and even writing. You're a playwright and so on. But where do you start? Where do you post, let's say, high school? Where do you find yourself? And where does the journey begin?
Oh, so post high school, when I was in high school, I thought I'd do medicine.
Uh-huh.
I thought I'd do medicine. I think because my dad specifically had convinced me that I can be a doctor.
Yes.
And I had those Django nicknames for what you're about to be.
Yes.
Engineer,
Uh-huh.
Doctor.
Yeah.
Japunj.
And you liked it.
Yeah, but the process of doing medicine didn't quite go the way I thought I would go. So I remember I went back home and I told my mom, I think I want to do comms.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I didn't tell her I think I want to do comms. I just told her I don't think I want to do medicine. And she was like, what? So what do we do? How do we are Africans. How do we handle this?
Yes. You have to do something.
Yeah. So she said, you go find a couple of things you think you might want to do, and then let's see what goes on. And then I was at All Saints Cathedral. I was in the youth group, and I was a dancer with Vessels of Honor. And my friends were in Daystar, and it was just around August when. Usually August is when guys will go to campus.
Yes.
Yeah. So you get your results, I think, early in the year. You have maybe about 6 months window if you want to change, if you want to move things. And then in August is when most first years would ideally open.
Yeah.
So I got the paperwork. I went to Valley Road. I paid 2,000 bob for the paperwork. I came back home with them. My mom signed. I went to church because Daystar required clergy to sign, and they say yes, this is a Christian, we know him, belongs to this church, and we approve.
Yes.
So that's how I ended up in Daystar. I did communication arts, and then I left. I met a couple of guys in Daystar who would open the doors that would be for me in the next maybe couple of years. Yeah, so that's how I ended
up in communication
arts
is general. It covers all forms of journalism. It covers, PR and comms. But now, post-graduation, how do you find yourself leaning towards the path of photography?
Oh yeah, so when I was in campus, I thought I will do mainstream news. That's what I wanted. And of course, Daystar is known for mainstream
their communications program.
Yeah. But with my interactions with creatives, and then while I was in Daystar, I didn't identify as a creative. So when I was there, then I met. I saw what guys will do in terms of creative. Guys who will do graphics and it will be cool. Guys who will do photography, with film, some analog stuff, and then guys who will do film. So it was really exciting. But in my head, I knew I will do. I was going into the newsroom somehow.
Yeah.
Also, my dad was an editor at the Daily Nation, so it felt like I was really leaning into what was us then.
Okay.
So then, when I left campus, I had met a friend, Kevin Kaburu, who was working at Roundtrip, which was an agency of. Scanned, and Coca-Cola was doing a campaign, and I helped him brainstorm, and what we worked on as the brainstorm actually got picked. And I'm like, okay, so this looks like I can It's something I can do. So that was my introduction into the agency life. I was in agency for maybe about 7-8 years.
And maybe you can help us understand when you say you helped him brainstorm for a campaign.
Yeah.
What does that process look like? What does that entail?
Oh, it's just the big idea. Usually you what you do is you have the big idea, the big concept, and then the experiential teams come in and break it down.
So when you say big idea, the client has given you a brief of what they want to achieve.
Yeah.
And then now you come and sit in a room and start to say, what big idea can we populate out of this?
Yeah, basically, yeah. So, but usually the client comes with the big idea and say, okay. So we are trying to, we have World Cup coming, and we are trying to engage the Watus.
Yes.
So how do you think we can best engage the Watus?
Okay.
So that's the on the macro, that's what the client, that's the client brief. And then say, okay, so we are looking at this kind of demographics, age. These are the locations we are looking at. In terms of media, we are thinking we'll go billboard, outdoor, we'll go digital, we'll go experiential. We might do TVCs, we might do branded content and things like that. So once you have all that, then you ask the big question. So how do we reach the people this client is trying to reach in the most creative, most fun way? So now you start breaking down the brief and then the big idea. And then you break it down to the touch points. Like if I go to a kiosk in Mushaba, will I get what these guys are promising that I can get at that level? Yeah.
Okay. So does that lead you to joining Roundtree?
No, actually, I don't join Roundtree, although I hoped I would. I really hoped I would. Because I think when you're young and you have your first, what would ideally look as like your first idea peaked, then there's some
you've got something.
Yeah, so so that was really exciting. Then I was I'd started identifying as a creative, but on the low level. So because I went to All Saints Cathedral every Sunday, I will design the church bulletin, put in the assignments, cue in the hymns. So every Sunday when you come to church and you're given that bulletin, I had my hand in it. And it was for a very long time, thanks to Francis Awando, was then the youth pastor. And in the process of doing the bulletin, then I really got really good at graphic design, using CorelDRAW, and then I switched to Illustrator. Please note, I'm not yet a photographer. I have no idea what photography is.
Yeah.
So then what happens is Kevin leaves a round trip, and he goes to Pulse Experiential. When he goes to Pulse Experiential, BL comes with Alvaro. So Alvaro is this new amazing drink, non-alcoholic.
Yes.
Really vibey, green and yellow, pineapple tasting. Like it was the thing. So Kevin then called me to Pulse and said, look, we have this thing we're trying to, and we're looking for a project manager for it. And it's a 3-month
gig.
3-month gig, yeah. And it was a fixed amount. We will pay you this amount of money. It wasn't a salo. Then Joyce Gathu, who had been at Scanad, was then the country director for Pulse Experiential. And then Massimeria had just come back from the US, I think maybe a year or so. So she was at Pulse Experiential. And she had experience in the experiential world. Yeah. And she would ideally be my next final boss in formal employment. Patrick Mwangi Patoni was also there. Was an account director. Rachel was also there. So I met a lot of guys who would, again, like I said, would open crazy doors for me. Wildest doors.
So you take the gig as a project manager for this Alvaro launch.
Yeah. So then as a project manager, then you you sit in oversight for the entire project. Of course, you have your bosses, your account directors, your managers, but you're literally the point person. So I basically, with the help of everyone at Pulse Experiential, launched Alvaro into the market. I worked with Angela Mwirigi, who I think now she was a marketing manager at EABL then. I think now she's head of digital or innovation at KCB.
Okay.
Yeah, so people would, like I said, open crazy doors for me. Yeah.
Okay. Now, where do we find yourself after that? After the 3 months is over.
So after
now, how do you? What have you experienced project managing there? What have you learned, and where are you now? Where does that push you?
Yeah. So once we do the launch, and the big idea for the launch was really, really crazy. We were going to have the launch at the rooftop of KICC, and the day of the launch, it rained. The good thing with experiential teams is that people think on their feet. So it looked like it will rain, and we're really praying it wouldn't, but it looked like it will rain. So what we did is we had contingency just in case it rains. We move everyone downstairs to the Savo ballroom and launch it from there. And it worked. The big idea it failed. Rooftop cases,
but the launch worked.
Barriers but the launch worked. So then I got paid, and I was again jobless. But then Joyce Gather would call me and tell me, can we have coffee maybe? We enjoyed working together. So I go and meet her, and she says, look, we're together with Mercy Mary. I was like, look.
And who is Joyce at this time?
Country director
for Pulse Experiential.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the most amazing human beings on earth. Yeah. So they just said, look, we enjoyed the work we did together. We have an opportunity. If you're looking to stay on long term, this will be the terms. And that's how I found myself.
And you joined the Pulse team.
Yeah. So then I joined the Pulse, and then sometime later, Kevin now leaves. So I joined Pulse again as a project manager. I left as a creative director.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how do you make that transition within Pulse from a project manager to a creative director? Because you said you joined as a project manager, but you left as a creative director.
Yeah. So when I left after the 3 months of Alvaro, and project management is literally, lift the microphone, put it there.
Yes.
So then I will be involved in a lot of pitches, in a lot of big ideas. So we worked on a lot of stuff. We worked on Pampers, we worked on Tasca, we worked on Alvaro, Guinness Malt, I think. We worked on a lot of brands. So I moved slowly from moving the microphone, to actually sitting on the mixer. Just okay. So we have this brief. What do you think we can do? So then I was there for a while. But yeah, the growth is. You move, and it's communicated that okay, so now you're moving from project manager to maybe account executive. You're moving from account executive to concept development, and things like that. So then Pulse had a big financial problem, which was an internal issue in terms of finances. So you would probably have clients you've worked with, they've not paid, or if they've paid, the money needs to go elsewhere. So we are in an office that probably needs rentals and things like that. So we ended up not getting paid as soon as we would have expected to be paid. And then fortunes started changing for the owners, I guess, or maybe their focus was elsewhere. Oh, sorry. I forgot to say that then when I left account executive, then I became, what was that? Was I the account manager for alternative media, which was different touch points that will be for experiential.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like one of the big things we did was we tried to brand conveyor belts at the point of sale.
Yes.
As part of marketing.
Supermarket conveyor belts.
Yeah. So supermarket conveyor belts, we
Yeah.
tried to get into the airport and things like that as a big. So that's where I was actually mostly involved. So what
Okay.
will we do this then? Figuring out the media campaign. I think we ran on Classic 105 for a couple of weeks. Yeah, it was.
So
crazy.
now you say the Paul starts experiencing problems, financial, and I think this is the time that you leave.
This is the time that I leave.
Yeah.
So the thing I had, and I'm struggling with, is I have tolerance for hardship.
You do.
Yeah. So I mean, I was working for probably one of the best bosses I've ever lived.
Yeah.
And she wasn't taking the money, but we were not getting paid. So she also wasn't getting paid.
Yeah.
But because she's leading the team, she needs to marshal guys up. Yeah, so I held on for a while, and then we tried to work flexi hours. And flexi hours just meant, so I lived in Umo, and if I'm coming to Kilimani during rush hour, it means I'm paying maybe 100 bob.
Yes.
If I'm really nice, then I wake up early and I'm on Doni, the train tracks by 6:45.
You
I'm
get
paying
that train.
20 bob.
You get that train, yeah.
But then I'm like, okay, so why am I coming to work that early? And then from railway to the office was maybe another 30 bob, Kirichwa Road. But in my head, and everyone else was like, okay, so why are we coming really early? And we are all gonna, struggle. We don't have salary. So the flexi plan was that then we come to work
when there's work.
Not when there's work, but we come to work against traffic.
Okay.
Which meant we would come to work late. But the owners of the business will not understand why we are coming at 9:30, 10, because then it's cheaper for us, because you're not paying us. But we really, we are fighting for Joyce. That's what we kept saying, like, we'll do anything for Joyce. Yeah, but eventually we just made the hard decision.
Things came to a head, and you.
Yeah, I think we were paid. Bulk payments for all the monies that had accrued, and we just said, look, this thing is not working for us. Both of us, management and staff, and the guys just started leaving. So the account directors left, and they started their own business. And then I left for maybe a month. Then I sent a blind mail to what's the name of this marketing company? They used to be at Vision Plaza. It's good that I've forgotten them. Yeah, because it was also a really bad experience. Anyway, so I send a blind email. This guy calls me in and says, we got your email. Would you come for an interview? When I go for the interview, it's actually, so they give me a brief and say, okay, you say you do this, here is a brief. How will you tackle it? The brief was Tasker Project Fame. And the brief won the job for the agency. So they gave me a brief.
That was real.
That was real, but
it was not an interview.
Yeah.
But it was positioned like it's an interview.
Yeah, Swivel marketing.
Yeah,
it's Swivel marketing. Lord Jesus. So anyway, so I was at I stayed at Swivel for about 3 months. I worked on Cadbury's. I worked on Guinness Malta. I worked on Tasker Project Fame and many other different accounts. I think that's the the era where there were those competitions where you would should I call them betting? I don't even know. Guys would win a car, 5 million. So it was the in thing then for people who I assumed would have money.
Yeah.
But it was also a really bad working experience then for me. And then I was there for about 3 months. We were not getting paid, but we were seeing.
You were doing work.
Yeah, you're doing work. And then, the thing is, when you work with clients, you're the one who's doing the invoicing, you're following up. So they tell you, oh, by the way, we've sent you your money.
We've paid, yeah.
Yeah, and then you are not seeing.
But salary is not coming.
Yeah, I don't even know if that should be said on this podcast. Maybe
I mean, say it. We chase authenticity.
Yeah.
So is that a problem? Because you experienced it a lot in your career.
I did, but so I this is where it was blatant. So one day I just woke up and I didn't go to work. So I had been called into the office. I was spoken to badly, and I was like, guys,
you're not paying me.
It was I'm a softie. Yeah. I'm a softie. Like I have, like I said,
your tolerance
is really
for suffering is high.
Yeah. So we spoke for a bit. The speaking didn't go well, but then I'd already started getting paced at the entire system.
Yeah.
So before I leave, then my really good friend Susan Mwange comes by the office. So Susan Mwange and Wanjiko Kahiga and Gideon.
Who is
Sande.
Susan and what does she do?
Susan, they used to run one of the really fast digital agencies in Kenya, and then they were working out of iHub.
Okay.
So I'd worked with them previously when they were housed in another office where after I left, I'd taken some space to try and just figure out what is going on, what direction they want to take. So I had this big idea of, I'll probably start a print thing. Yeah. So they called me. Susan comes and tells me, look, you're suffering here. You come band with us.
But Pau, Sasa, we are still in advertising.
We are still in advertising.
Now, when do you transition into when and how do you transition into photography?
So then I go to Sprint Interactive.
Yes.
At Sprint Interactive, we do quite a bit of work. We were not sleeping hungry, but we were not making
still experiential work.
Yeah. No, now this is digital.
Now digital agency work. Yeah.
And now it's just big ideas. So what do we do for this client? Then Marcy was my boss at Pulse.
Yes.
Calls me and tells me, hey, look, I've opened up shop and I'm looking for somebody with your skill set. Is it a thing you would be willing to? So then I leave Sprint. I go to it wasn't Hue Experiential then.
And when you say skill set, is your skill set now creative director?
Yes.
So you've now become an out and out creative director.
So I'm doing big ideas for experiential.
Okay.
So then I was there for for about 3 years, maybe 10 years this past May. That's when I leave. But before I leave, I meet people who I used to know when I was growing up, but now are doing more specific creative things. So Mutua Matheka had already started photography. I think Wangeshi Kihoro was, So the photography was now the new spoken word, because spoken word had been the, so a lot of young guys were getting into photography. It was still raw. Then they put together a team called One Touch Africa. So One Touch Africa would zurura the country and the region, take photos. So because I knew them, I really wanted to go hang out with them. So there's Njeringige was part of One Touch. So I kept saying, oh, you guys want to come? I want to come. So she just told me, look, you don't have a camera. It makes no sense
for you to come. Yeah.
If you want to come for it's good. But you won't learn by watching. You won't learn by shooting. Then I got a small gig, and I got paid 60K. I took the entire 60K, went to town and bought my first camera. So that's how I get into photography.
Through One Touch.
Yeah. Literally through One Touch.
And One Touch were these young guys who are fast traveling Kenya. Are they the same ones who once took a trip to Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda?
Those guys, Akina Mwangi Kirubi.
I know them. Kina Mwav.
Yeah,
Kina Mutua Madheka.
Yeah, those guys.
Even Esmeralda, who has been on this podcast as a caterer, was with One Touch. Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah.
So then, and purely, I'm not one of those guys who woke up, who grew up saying, one day I'm going to be, said I just wanted to hang out with these guys and then hang out with cameras, and it looks like it's a good thing. Mm-hmm. So I got a Rebel T2i with 2 kit lenses for I think 55K.
Okay, that's Nikon.
No,
Canon Rebel 2T. Yeah.
Never ever mentioned Nikon.
The Canon Nikon guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we at Mercy's farm, you experiential. We had what's the name of this soap? Guy, I feel so bad that I've forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
Ariel. So
yes,
Ariel
soap, yeah.
Ariel had come in as a client, and we needed to do a print collateral for them.
Mm-hmm.
So Mercy just said, "Look, we got a guy who said he's a designer, and then he sent us really horrendous work. I know him, and he's a brother to my friend, so I won't mention it here, but he did some terrible work for us. So Mercy was like, look, I see you with a camera, you've taken a few photos, you think you can hack this? And that's how I got literally into photography. So I shot, and she paid me.
And you shot what? What did you shoot?
Like I shot the packaging.
The packaging of the show. But now how do you...
It was a really bad photo. It's just that it was going into print.
Yes.
And in terms of graphic design, whatever we needed to do was not that extensive.
But how do you know what to shoot? Lighting, you're still a novice.
Then lighting was like my lighting for that park was really, really bad. Yeah, so then I leave Mercy's farm, and I leave not knowing I was going to go into photography. I leave to go start a creative support agency for small experiential companies. And so like, okay, I'll be your first client. And for 1 year, she was my first client. I did some work with USAID. I did some work with I think the Danish embassy. I'm not sure.
And now, have you become a full bona fide member of One Touch?
No. I was never ever a member of One Touch.
Yeah. So you just bought your camera and you started shooting.
Yeah.
They were your friends.
Yeah. So like I would go. I think I went for a couple of trips with them. I think we went to Shompole, the border of Kenya and TZ, I think, and one more. But then there will be these Insta meets in the streets of Tao. There'll be these competitions with Airtel. So you'll always be there. You'll always be with the same guy. But I was never ever a member of One Touch.
So now you've become I think your first foray into your own space where you're not working for someone is this creative
support agency.
For creative support agency for SMEs.
Yeah.
Yes.
What I didn't know, and I didn't learn also when it happened, is because I had a client as a boss, as my former boss, and she guaranteed me work, so it eased the cost of paying me. But then I would be paid per project, which was easier. So when there are no projects,
you don't have work.
Yeah. And then the USAID gig, but then those avenues quickly dried up because I don't think that would have been sustainable as a creative support agency. Also, there was a lot of with other organizations. There was a lot of intended hand-to-hand dealings. which is a thing that I have vowed that
You'd not participate in.
I'm not buying gigs,
Yeah.
and I'm not paying for gigs.
Yeah.
Which is I accredit my lack of a Land Rover. Convoy gari na lead ni Land Rover. That would have been my Land Rover, but because I said, and it's in my head, underhand dealings were covert. This one not covert. Guys will tell you, look, we have this gig. You need 5M. I'm like, I don't have 5M. Like, even if I wanted the gift, I had 5M. So
yes.
Yeah. So that pot quickly dried up.
If we can leave the career side a bit and come to the family side, how is this been taken on your family front? Parents who anticipated that you would become a doctor and then you changed to comms, but now you've had this space. How is that side of things been taken?
Yeah, so my dad died earlier on.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was easier, I think. I don't know if it would have been easier, but my mom was more willing to allow
you to find yourself. Yeah.
And I wasn't getting into any trouble. Like,
yes.
My mom has never been called by the cops or by somebody saying, this guy did this.
Yeah.
I've never had those cases. As a teenager, I had quite a bit of rough edges.
Teenage drama, yeah.
That some beatings smoothened, but then my mom has never had to deal with
the drama
or any of my siblings.
Okay.
With heart-stopping drama.
So that allowed you to then build your.
And then I was making money, and with the small money, I will support my siblings where needed, and I will support my mom as well. So we are not stealing.
It was working.
And it's work that you can trace. Like, you can go and say, okay, Paul did this.
This is what I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was easier.
So now we understand now how you got into photography. It wasn't a well-laid plan.
It wasn't.
But you find yourself there.
Yeah.
And you have now, through trial, error, a lot of work that you probably look at now and cringe, but you now find yourself. So how's the life of a photographer in Kenya?
All right. So
from then to now,
I think it's gradual. Like, there's a lot of things going on. So for my case, I did what every photographer did. I shot weddings, I shot ratios, I shot baby bumps, I shot birthdays, I shot events. And most of this work was given. Somebody saw me with a camera, or
or referred you.
Yeah, and then I would shoot a lot at All Saints and Mavuno then. So then my growth was gradual, but there was still no plan. Then I took up a creative director gig at Mavuno for about a year, which also really just helped me figure out my creativity. And I keep saying that if you want to be really, really creative, the church is the space you really want to be at. Yeah. But I also say that the church will hurt you deeply. Yeah. And I think I lived both. I think church really let me down. So anyway, so the last day I'm leaving my work officially as a creative director at large at Mavuno. I'm in the car with I'm with one of the pastors. I forget her name. I'm doing badly with names. And she's with her daughter, Thero. And I'm seated at the back. They're giving me a lift back to Tao from Athi River. And I just say, I saw a billboard, and I just like, one day I'm going to be the best advertising photographer in Kenya. And then I'll go on and conquer the world. And then she said, oh, even our friend Pato says that, Pato Manuele, Pato the biker. I was like, okay. Shalom, it was Shalom Muniri, sorry. So Shalom said, oh, even our friend Pato Manuele says that. Pato is also a really good photographer. So I said, okay, cool. And then that's it. In the process, I have my work. I'm posting a lot of work. It's being seen. There's a bit of traction here.
Posting where? Instagram?
On Instagram, but mostly on Facebook.
Okay.
Because I am that age. Yeah. So I do the posts, and then I get a DM from somebody I know from the socials who will eventually come and be one of my good friends. And they say, look, we have a client. They're opening 5 hotels, 4 hotels and 1 resort. And the hotels are going to be in Accra, Lagos, Nairobi, and Addis. And the resort is going to be somewhere in the wild in Kenya. So we are looking for somebody to shoot the food and the menu. And it was purely food and menu. I'm like, okay, cool. So I send my quote like, oh, great, you have the job. And I am really excited. So I go to Land Rover Kenya and look at the price of a Defender. I'm like,
you're ready. You've arrived.
I'm like,
So you go now. Where do you shoot this work?
I don't shoot this work. So we agree. I send him my details. I'm gonna get paid. It looks like I'm going to make a lot of money because they're paying for your flights, they're paying for the work, they're giving you per diems. Then I really don't understand. Please not have been in the agency, Nini, but I don't understand how agency works with photographers. So a week to when the intended shoot is about to happen, like, oh, sorry, we forgot to ask you. My creative director asked for a portfolio. A what? Apple?
You don't have.
So I go. She just send what you have. So I go pick my photos that have a mokimo over here. See, it's food, and I've shot at weddings. And she just calls me and tells me, "Annie, I would have really loved to work with you, but client is not going to flight this portfolio."
Oh wow!
So my world crashes. So then I because I wasn't drinking, I went and bought a 2-liter Fanta and just cried my sorrows. Then I called my friend, or I didn't call her. We just met Nepurko Kewa, also from agency, and I just explained to her, and then she told me, no, she didn't tell me then. So one of my growing up friend was the nurse at the sanatorium at Sankara Hotel. So I tell her, oh, by the way, I'm trying to get a food portfolio. Is it possible? Because now in my head is like, how can I get a food portfolio as fast as possible to try and salvage this gig in case they haven't found anyone. So I call her. I'd never got the gig. It went, but I got business from the same people, big business. So I call Anita Gitonga. I tell her I'm trying to do this. Like, you wait. So she calls me later and says, oh, I've spoken to a marketing guy. I said you can come, you talk. So I call Nepurko and tell her, there's probably some conversation we can have at Sankara. Let's go. So when you go to Sankara, this person that we meet, Keja Meza, went to school with Nepurko. So you kisikia when guys say mtu ni watu, so you know and they say your problem is 3 people separated from you now. They used to say it was 6 degrees of now it's like 3 people. And if you're really, really bold, it's just a single WhatsApp. Yeah, so we go in, we talk with Keja, then she says, let me talk to my boys, Joyce, Angeline. So they call me and say, okay, cool, you can come and shoot on condition that we co-own the photos. You post them for your portfolio, us guys will use them for you. Then they said, we'll let you know when you can shoot. So I wait. Then they called me when they were having a branch. Was it a branch? They were having
Sankara now.
Yeah.
So call you. Yeah.
And Sankara laid out food worth 75,000 shillings for me to shoot. So I shot the tomahawk, I shot spare ribs, I shot at Gray's. I went upstairs to the rooftop bar.
Okay.
Like they went all out. I said, you shoot, let's share the images. And that's how I made my first food portfolio. That portfolio gave me, it serves me up to today.
Wow.
Yeah. So they would then call me later and pay me. Like I say, I really have a soft spot for Sankara and Serena hotels, because when I needed to do what I needed to do, their doors were wide open. Like never ever held back. And now the Norfolk. Yeah.
So you then out of this, let's call it what it is, benevolence of Sankara.
Yeah.
You now build your food portfolio.
And I build them.
And this food portfolio becomes the foundation
of what I do.
Of how you sell yourself as a photographer.
Yeah. So I shot, went and edited. I shared all the photos with them. I took the ones that I really wanted, put up a portfolio, and I would walk in Tao. I would go from bar to bar. Hi, can I speak to the manager? I'm a photographer. I'm looking for.
Really?
And say, and then I'll say, here's my portfolio. And then I will just send it on WhatsApp. Like it was literally on WhatsApp. What's your number? We finished the conversation before I am downstairs. You already have my portfolio. And that's how my food photography grew. While shooting food, I realized that food comes with drinks. And then I started shooting drinks. So I shot for Five Senses. I shot for Serena.
Let's get into the technicality of this food photography, because I'm sure our audience is listening and they are wondering, Kwani, food is food, So I take a photo of food.
Yeah.
What do you mean by professional food photography?
Yeah, that's when we shoot food and you go to a client. So I'm saying what you see as food on advertised, they even have a disclaimer say the food may appear different from what is advertised, because it's really propped up. So now that the propping up, the making the food look good is the work that then I got into doing. And that's a lot of timing on when the food is shot.
Yes.
How fast is it coming out from the kitchen?
Yes.
Are we supporting it? Are we building?
Yeah.
When they say, well, let's build a burger, it's literally built. At the back, we have toothpicks that are holding. You have glue. You have sellotape.
For it to sit in a certain way, for it to appear, in that appealing nature, for the client to then, or for the consumer to then want, oh man, I really want that.
Yeah, and for me, my mantra is I shoot food that you can taste. Like photos, I'll give you photos that you can taste.
Okay.
Yeah, so how I think we shot a burger for KFC. We shot some food for, again, Sankara.
So what how does this, so you now get into this space.
Yeah.
But in the early days, when you're sharing, walking from bar to bar, restaurant to restaurant, and sharing your portfolio on WhatsApp, does that give you work?
It does, but this experience where I could have gone to across Africa to shoot food only opened my eyes to, oh my God, there's a big commercial photo world for food.
Smama there a bit.
Yeah.
I just want to get that point clearly.
Yeah.
So the failed experience,
the
job that you didn't get, is the one which opened your eyes to what the potential of commercial food photography is.
Yeah, and it's just food.
What do you do with that knowledge?
So then I push myself hard to try and get into the faces of the people who make decisions on when and how food is shot.
Who are these people?
These are hotel owners and managers,
Mm.
and then brand managers.
Yes.
For food
Food products, food brands. Yeah.
And then agencies, the people who do the production.
Okay.
So I'm shooting both drinks. So the food is the most professional bit, but the drinks are not yet professional. Because I've not figured out how I can put a glass of beer and nyama choma next to each other yet. But when I look at photos, I'm like, these things always go together. And then COVID hit. Before COVID hit, I'd written on Twitter that I'm going to be the biggest. I'm going to be. I was manifesting, and manifesting, Max. I was manifesting that I was going to be the chief product photographer for Diageo brands, locally and abroad. And watu kwa Twitter wananichocha, hey, good job. And from that tweet, and I'd already started sharing my photography work now on Twitter and heavily on IG. From that tweet, somebody from Ogilvy just called me and said, hey, we might have a thing here. Do you think you can do it? So I said, yeah, I can do it. And I was my first commercial product gig. So I shot White Cap. I shot at 209 State House. There was a studio there, Photo Magic, and that's when I got into
Paul,
the space.
let me stop you there and ask you to just expound. When you say you shot White Cap, what does shooting White Cap mean? Because it's a bottle, it's a drink. So what are you doing? Things just for the layman who's not a professional photographer. What are you doing? You're opening it, you're pouring it.
No. So we do the pour shots. We didn't do the opening because how do you? In my head, how do you know? So we just did product shots that will go into digital spaces. So you get the bottle, you prop it up, you clean it, you do the spritz.
So you're those guys of when we see that bottle with the droplets of water that show it's cold.
Yeah.
Those are your things.
Yeah.
That's your world.
Yeah. So we've been cooking, as they say.
Okay.
So I shoot White Cap, and then COVID hits. When COVID hits, there's technically no work. But then brands move online. So when they moved online, so when I shot White Cap, then it made sense for me how I can shoot food and alcohol at the same time. And White Cap was so gracious. Like, we'll send you the product. You just send us the photos. Brilliant agency, paid me on time. Akukwa na kuvutana. Then I would shoot for fast food chains, Java, Big Square. I shot for, and it was those combos. Then, sorry. So then my mind then connected food and drinks. They go together. And then because it was COVID, I set out, and I was really paranoid during COVID. I was like, the whole world is going to die. I'm never leaving the house. My relatives, you can't visit. If you come, you wave from there. So I was, when people are locked down, I was properly locked down. And I didn't have a creative outlet. And this is what I say to every creative, every visual artist, that every creative must own the primary tools of trade. The thing that worked for me is that I had bought my own lights and I had my own camera and lenses. So at night when people will go to sleep, because I was literally bored, I would set up, and it was a really small setup. I'd set up at maybe 9, 10, and I'll shoot all the way to about 3, 4.
What are you shooting?
Just products. I'm just practicing.
Okay.
Yeah, just I'm practicing, and then I shoot and I post. I shoot and I post.
That's
and
what's keeping you sane.
Yeah.
During this COVID period.
Yeah. So then we got a gig for I think it was Pick and Peel, or one of these brands that needed product photography, and I went to shoot at a studio. When I went to shoot at the studio, then I was able to know also, how does a professional product photography set looks like, because when I was shooting a White Cup, I was shooting as me. I was sent for the product. I shot. They were approved. But then when I went onto that set, then I just talked to the studio owner and told him, look, I want to do a lot more of this, and I want to do a bit more practice, heavy practice. Is it okay if I can use your space when you don't have business, and then when I have business, I'll bring
I'll
it
come
to
and
you.
shoot here.
Yeah. And it worked for a while. So what I did, I went from downstairs from Lavington Mall. I went into Chanarana. I bought a 6-pack of Heineken bottles, a 6-pack of I think it's 500 ml, and a 6-pack of 300 ml. And I just put them in front of my camera, and I think I shot the whole day. That work as a personal project costed me not more than 6K. That one project, I can't tell you how much it has brought. I can't.
Because you posted.
Count. Yeah. I can't count. So when I posted, then the Tasker guys were like, you shot this? Yeah. Are you sure? Like, yeah. So the one of the agency guys said, can you send me the raw photos of this? I'm like, why would I send? We just want to make sure that you're the one who shot. I shared, and the next thing I knew, I was shooting Tasker maybe a couple of weeks later, which is a thing that I keep saying that. And Chris Adwar, I picked this from Chris Adwar. Chris Adwar says every practicing creative grows, and the keyword is practicing. If you practice, you grow. So when the Tasker brief came, I was ready.
Because you had
been practicing. My partner would go to the supermarket and come with products, and before they're shelved, I'll just take them and just arrange them on a small set at home and just shoot, edit. My editing was not as good, but then I was able to partner with really good retouchers. So I shot Tasker, which I don't know. When I shot Tasker, I was probably the first. I was probably among the first Kenyan photographers to shoot Tasker. Now Tasker is purely shot by Kenyans, because that's how much we've grown.
Wait.
Yeah,
Oh.
but that's what That's what they said.
But first of all, we're running out of time. But I think there are some things that you have said, and
Yeah.
I'm going to try and summarize them into what I've heard.
Yeah.
First of all, your road is it correct to say unplanned? Yeah, in the sense that it kind of evolved. You evolved into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you've also been a huge beneficiary of, I think what keeps you doing what you do is that you're perpetually learning. And you're perpetually trying.
Yeah.
When you have downtime, you have your camera. So my question to you is, having walked this journey and now being someone who earns your bread and butter from photography and the creative industry, you've been in it for a long time.
Yeah.
What advice do you have to the young people who are coming into this space? And as the space continues to evolve, what are you seeing going into the future? There's this new world of AI that is coming to affect your work, you guys, quite significantly. So what would you say you see, and where are we going?
Yeah, so the hill I die on is like you have to practice and you have to show your work. Yeah. And collaborate. Again, they say that practice makes perfect. Imagine what perfect practice can do for you.
Mhm.
Yeah. My road was unplanned, and even now, as we speak, I am really in my head. I know that because it's my finger and my camera, I don't know what sustainability looks like for me in terms of photography. I'm actively pursuing other avenues for creative enterprises.
Yes.
I'm strongly working on putting up maybe a theater company as we speak, and I still want to do heavy writing and heavy film. But yes, I have no shame to say that I stumbled into this photography space, and I've excelled. And I think the reason I have been able to excel is the creative endeavors that I've put my mind to. For some reason, I'm able to excel. If I don't know if it would work if I was doing academic stuff. Yeah,
Paul,
yeah,
this has been a fabulous thing for me because I'm a closet photographer myself.
yeah.
But just hearing what you've done, and you are in my space because food photography is my
Yeah,
world. I
yeah.
know we have worked together
Yeah.
at Big Square. We've worked together
Yeah.
at in the cakes business that
Yeah.
we run. And so mine is just to thank you for
Yeah.
coming and sharing your story
Yeah.
and in great detail. And I think what I take away from what you have done is that there's no path that's straight, and maybe I can give you a chance to speak to the audience to say where you can be found, your handles, so
Oh.
that those that would like to have a look, having watched the podcast and would now like
Yeah.
to have a look at your work,
Yeah.
local, African, continental, regional, international, where can they find you, on what portals, and so on?
Oh yeah. So I'll just say one thing before I close.
Yeah.
That this world looked closed to me until I got into it. I think the one thing we've been able to effectively do is we've been able to keep some of these spaces.
Yes.
And and because you said you're a closet photographer, I think these spaces are for everyone to.
Agreed.
Yeah, like you don't need permission
To
access.
100%.
We are over 300 billion a year industry.
Yes.
And the guy who's taking the most is probably taking 1 billion.
Yes.
If they're taking it,
True. True.
But you can find me everywhere on social media at Paushinski.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, Paul Otieno, aka Paushinski, brilliant product photographer. And you can find him at Paushinski. That's Paushinski, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, and have a look at his work, see what he's doing. And thank you very much for joining us on episode 38 of the African Do podcast, where we feature excellent Africans executing excellently.
Excellent.
And I think there's something you said that I want you to repeat maybe as we close out.
Yeah.
You said what's that thing you said about practice perfectly?
No, we say, and we've seen that practice makes perfect.
Yes.
Imagine what perfect practice can do for you. I think those years for me were for perfecting the practice.
We'll leave you imagining what perfect practice can do for you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and see you at the next episode.